Welcome, and this is video number 5 of the series for the restoration of a Singer Model 337. And picking up where I left off on video 4, I'm going to remove some more parts today. I've already removed the stop motion knob, which Singer actually calls the clamp screw. Got that bagged up, ready for cleaning. The top and bottom screws for the covers, the bobbin hook needle area components, ready for cleaning. I want to go ahead and pull off the tension unit. Now, in my service guide that I bought at Manuals on CD, it tells me that the set screw to remove the post and the whole tension unit is down inside here, and to lower the take-up lever all the way to the bottom to make room, and you can go down in there and take out a small set screw and pull this whole unit off. I usually don't do that unless the post that this all assembles on has been damaged and I need to replace it. I usually just don't do it. What I do is just start assembling this, and I start with a little tiny screwdriver to loosen a set screw here for the chrome knob. So this happens to be a Singer original. You can use a jeweler screwdriver, a small inexpensive screwdriver. As long as it's small enough to get on this little set screw that's right there. So I usually just leave the lever down, and I'll go in here and loosen that set screw. I try very hard not to remove it all the way because it has a tendency to bounce off into screw heaven and just disappear from the face of the earth. It's so small. So we'll see if I think that's enough, and I'll start unscrewing it here, and it looks like it's coming off. There we go. There. A little retention piece right there. That's what the set screw pushes into. I'll just continue to unscrew it. There. Then at this point, I usually screw the screw back in all the way. I found that's the safest way to not lose the screw, because it's a lot easier to find this than it is a little screw. So I'll start putting stuff in my storage bag here. This is the number register, and you can see the discoloring and dust and dirt. That's why I usually just take the whole thing off and clean it. This part just unscrews. Again, this is usually why I spend $5 to $10 and get the service adjuster's guide or the repair guide, because it tells you how to do all this stuff on the particular machine that you're working on. There's the little beehive screw. This is the part I'm very interested to check. Besides cleaning, you can see this horizontal bar inside there, and it's the twofold to push it on the space on the post so that your plus minus indicator stays up. But the other thing, this is also a stop for the little tiny pin that's in there. So when you raise this up, the lever pushes against the spring, and it pushes right against here to push back on the spring and take the tension off of the disc. The old days these were all metal. Then they went to plastic. And it's fairly common that this little bar in there can be cracked or broken, and then you lose control of your tension. So I was very hopeful that this one was in good shape, and it is in good shape, because you can find replacements for this, but it's really hard to find a blue one. They're usually all white. And if you do find a blue one, it might be damaged too, and the seller might not even know it. So I'm real happy about that. I'll put the rest of these in my bag for cleaning. Then I'm going to gently pull off the tension disc, the disc retainer, and the check spring. They kind of all come off as one unit there. So I'll gently slide off the check spring. I'll check it. It looks in really good condition. I usually replace these because they're usually bent. But this one looks really, really tight and a beautiful shape. I'll compare it to a brand new one I have and see. The new ones cost a couple of bucks, so I might replace it anyway. But it's in good shape. And then here's the tension discs. There's 3 of them in this machine because this machine can do twin needle sewing. If you do run 2 threads, you have to run them separate, so there's only one screw between, or one thread between 2 discs. If you only see 2 of these on the tension unit, that means 1 needle, 1 thread. If you see 3, 2 needles, 2 threads. They're a little grimy, but they're not rusted or anything, which goes along with the condition of the rest of the machine. So they look good. I'll go ahead and keep those in here. There is a screw that holds these thread guides on. So I'll take a little screwdriver and pushing rather hard towards the machine, break it free and take it off here. Now these are the kind of parts that I can clean up with that crud cutter in about a minute. So I used to take every little part and wipe it with alcohol. I used a lot of those cotton makeup remover pads, and it was just time consuming and tedious. And let's get this off of here. These are also in good shape. They're dirty and so forth, but there's no rust and they're not bent. And what I call the post here is in beautiful condition. It's never been bent. And I'm happy with this model. It's a little bit older model, so the gear in here, what I call the gear, is molded as part of this, and it's all metal. Some of the newer ones, it's just a slip-on plastic knurled knob thing, and the plastic has a tendency to crack over the years. And that's why I would take this out and replace that. Or if this was bent, I would take it out and replace it with a new one. But this one is nice. I'll clean in here with the crud cutter, but I'm not going to have to take it out. Oh, that's really nice. I'm real happy about that. Okay, so I've got all my tension parts and thread guides in here for cleaning later, so I'll seal that up good. Don't want to lose that little screw I took out. Okay. Yesterday I showed you taking off the back cover, and today I want to take off the hand wheel and the belt maybe the motor. I might take the motor out now, I might take it out later, but I want to get all this off in the belt. So I'm going to start with this is this electrical plug area. I'm going to open that up and get some access to the adjustment bracket and the motor mount bolt or screw. So let's get a little bit bigger screwdriver here, and we'll go right in here and we'll take this screw out. I've got another little baggie here ready for these parts. This then can be moved around and push it inside and out of the way. Let's flip this over. Oh, wow, I just remembered something really important when I saw that lever up. There is a little pin in here I talked about that pushes back on that. Let's see if I can get it out of here. I can see it. I can kind of see the edge of it in there. It's probably kind of gunked up. Yeah. Let's see if I can put my little screwdriver in there and move it around a little bit to see if it put some pressure there. You can see it moving the screwdriver as I push it. It's just going to have thread dust and debris on there that makes it a little bit difficult to get out. Let's try to see if I can tip it over again here and get it to fall out. Good old metal machine, huh? That does not want to come out right now. Well, I've got one more thing I'm going to try, and if not, we'll leave it in there for now. I guess it's not going to fall out if I can't pull it out. I can't get a ply or anything in there, so I'm going to try and just push on it on both sides with a screwdriver and see if I can drag it out of there. Actually, that's kind of working, so let's see if I can keep that up. On the front edge of it, the leading edge, there's kind of a little crimp, and I think the edge of my screwdrivers is kind of catching on that crimp and letting me slide it forward a little bit. If it comes out enough, I can get behind it and come on. Oh, there we go. Yeah, you definitely don't want to use this. I've had machines where this was gone. I think somebody disassembled the machine and lost it, so I had to make one out of a nail. But that's what that looks like. It's a little push pin. So I definitely have to have that in with my tension parts. I'm glad I remembered that so I could show you how that comes out. Okay, flip this over. Now we're going to get to some parts down here. And one thing I forgot to look at yesterday, because I don't even think about it anymore, but these, some people call them rubber feet. The Singer calls them bed cushions. This is the bed and these are the cushions. And every machine I've ever had, these are either all broken down or crumbled. At the very least, they're like this. They're hard. They're just all dried out and hard. So the way we would take this off would be just put a screwdriver in there, and they're just held in place by screws. And this one I think had a problem before because it's a different size than the others. So I noticed when I first set the machine up, it kind of wobbled back and forth to this corner, and I don't know why this one is shorter unless it's worn down that much, but usually they all wear down about the same. But a lot of times you'll see these, you can see them in my other videos, like on the 457, where they've been exposed to a lot of moisture, and these get thread dust and dust in here, and then the moisture, and they get kind of rusty and stuff. I've had to replace a couple, but I've never had one like break off inside or be unable to remove. But a lot of times the cushion itself I will have to break apart to get out. I think I've got this unthreaded, but it's just kind of stuck in the cushion. Let me try a little bit more here. Yeah, it's unthreaded from the metal. I can't get it out enough to... Oh, there we go. Oh, hey, there we go. So that's what that looks like. You take those off, and then you want to get these off. I've found one of the best ways is to try and turn them a little. They will just start crumbling into pieces. Yep, there it goes. You can see. So a lot of times I've had the most luck with trying to kind of twist them. But look, these are so dry. Look at that. So that's why they're already on my list. Besides the motor belt, new rubber cushions. So I'm going to put that screw in my bag with the top and bottom screws, and we'll worry about getting the other feet off and digging those cushions out. You just keep kind of scraping them out. They finally get to a point that they pop out. Remember my little pocket knife? You can go in there with a screwdriver or that and scrape out all the dry stuff. But I wanted to show you this adjustment knob. This is how you put tension on the belt. And you access it from the different holes in the end of the machine here. And it's kind of like a concentric washer here, so when you loosen it, the washer's not perfectly round. So if we turn it this way, there's less tension on the belt, and then where the knob is longer here, there's a little screw slot you can turn it to adjust. So when you push the longer here to the stop, it stretches the belt. It's pulling the belt farther from the hand wheel, pulling the whole motor. And if you turn it back this way, it's leaving slack, and you can push against it. So I get it to the most slack area I can. And later I'll be taking that off probably to clean it and stuff, but I wanted to show you, because when you put the belt and the motor back in and the new belt, that's how you're going to adjust the tension. So more tension, less tension. More tension, less tension. So I've got the least amount of tension on there. And let's see if I can get this back up here now to a point that we can see it. You can see things are a lot looser now. Right? Okay, so let's see if there's enough slack here that I can pull this. Oh, Usually the hand wheel will slide off. This one's probably got varnish grease, so I'm going to have to kind of work it. Oh yeah, you can see all the dust in here. There we go, it's starting to come off. A little bit more. Okay, there we go. So that's how you can get the belt on and off. Like I said, this belt was supple. You know, it's not, the edges are just a little bit barely frayed, but I can get a new belt for $6 or $7. So before I sell this, I'm just going to put a new belt on it and get it stretched and adjusted, and then whoever buys it, I'll give them the old belt, and any other part that I replace, I'll give them the old part so they can have a spare and so forth. But that got that off. That allowed me to get the hand wheel off. Boy, I hope that wasn't blocked. And you can see in here, this area is very dry. It needs to have some oil on it and be cleaned up and everything. This was some of the leftover, that dark brown. Man, that's brown. That's all hardened and varnished and sticky, and that's probably why when I was trying to release that clamp screw so you can wind a bobbin without the needle end working, it wouldn't release because it was just too sticky in here. So be able to clean that. I think before I take the motor out right now, I think I'd like to go ahead and show you cleaning at least a couple of these parts so you get an idea. I know a lot of people don't like to watch this much video. They're just looking for a solution today. So I'll just do the let's see, that's pretty greasy. So I will do the stop motion knob or clamp screw. There's the set screw. There's the knob. There's the little special clamp washer. I'm just looking for anything else that's pretty grungy right now to be able to put in there. But I guess that screw's dirty enough. So I'm going to set up at the sink, and I can just show you real quick how this crud cutter will work. I think I will take a toothbrush, if in case sometimes that old dried up grease is really caked on there. So I'll bring a toothbrush too. So I'll meet you over at the sink. Thanks.